What are you doing here? Sorry. Hey, change the channel, my friend. I'm sure you can find some old Andy of Mayberry down there, or maybe some MTV up there. Oh, Cosby's on, your favorite. Go away. Run along. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. They gone? They gone? Now that all the pencil necks are gone, it's just us really hip people. Welcome to GRTV, where you find innovative, creative, cutting-edge video.
So what do you want to know? My name is Ted Diedrich. I'm the station manager at GRTV. I've been with GRTV for 25 years. I started in 1999 as an intern. I was editing together these short little video projects called Today in History. And I did that for 6 months. Apparently I did a good enough job where they invited me to work part-time after that in master control room, which sounded like the coolest possible place to work. And in about, I think, 2015, I was offered the position for station manager as full-time, making sure that all of these pieces that I had become familiar with over the previous 15 years were running smoothly. So making sure all of that's happening, teaching the classes, checking out equipment, working with producers, and also making sure we're within like the FCC guidelines and following our contracts with the city and doing reports, and really managing a team of great people working towards an amazing goal that makes up GRTV.
So I know what you're all thinking right now. Will, how does GRTV support the community? And I'm so glad you asked that. GRTV supports the community and content creators by providing education, training, tools and equipment, video archiving services, and services to nonprofits.
GRTV was originally founded in 1980. It was the Grand Rapids Cable Access Center. So this was before the rules about what public access stations were, which were codified in the Cable Communications Act of 1984. We weren't the first public access television station, but we were one of the first. Our founder, Dirk Koning, he was a major voice in that national conversation for why we need public access television, what the laws are going to look like. And we had already agreed with the city for that cable franchise funding prior to the Cable Act. So we were kind of one of the models that was used for what public access education and government channels would look like moving forward. 1982 was our first broadcast for GRTV. In 1989, we became the first community media center in the nation when we acquired WYCE from a local school from Wyoming Kentwood School District, and they became part of what was then dubbed the Community Media Center. And this is a model that public access stations have followed all across the nation to become community media centers and expand the idea of community media to be more than just television. We continued to kind of pioneer in this space. In 2000, we acquired Wealthy Theater as a public access venue. And then we continued to iterate and add on, recognizing the decline of local news sources by adding in the Rapidian in I think 2010. Community media has grown significantly throughout the last 50 years, and we've been a big part of that driving change of the Community Media Center, really leading in a lot of these areas. We know that a lot of people don't have the tools or the training to just make a show without, from nothing. And so we provide those additional services. There are classes you can take to learn how to make film, to learn how to make television in a studio, to learn how to edit your shows together, to learn how to do podcasting. And so we try and provide all that skill building so people aren't coming to this totally with a complete blank slate. They can make a show, and we can build them up from having that blank slate to having a plan and kind of a knowledge of what's going to go into making that show happen. And then once they've taken classes with us, We offer equipment that just comes for free with that membership. So as long as you're a member of Community Media Center and you've taken a class with us, you get access to the equipment that goes with that class. All of those are building towards giving people the knowledge and the tools to make programming so that they can share it on our community platform.
There it is. Yeah, come on. Take care of these guys. They don't know. Let's get them. All right. We want to know who's responsible for that offensive show we just saw on GRTV. Yeah!
That would be the producer.
You mean you just let anybody with an opinion produce a show, do you?
Yes, we do. We provide training and lend equipment to them so they can produce their own show.
Well, you mean if the fellas and me wanted to produce our own show, you'd help us?
Yes, of course we would.
Oh, well, fellas, well, let's make our own show then.
Public access came out of this need to protect local voices, that as the digital age has come around and all of our media has become globalized, or at the very least controlled on a national level, that there's a huge gap in the amount of local information we're able to get, and that's shrinking every day. The importance of public access is that vanguard to protect a way for people to have local conversations and to share local ideas with people that live in their locality.
Will help consumers, legislators, and other stakeholders to know that the CFPB is needed here in our country.
So freedom of expression is critical right now to our community dialogue. It's getting really difficult to know what is real and what's not real. AI is coming in and providing a lot of tools for people to spread misinformation and disinformation. And those sources of information are coming from one source or two sources or three sources, even 10 sources nationally. That's not enough to provide a diverse array of interests. We need ways for people to express themselves and tell the stories of what's happening in their community, for people to talk about the joys and the things that are good, but also, more importantly, the things that are hurting them, the things that might be stopping them from success. Because it's very easy to ignore those things if you aren't hearing those stories. So freedom of expression and having a platform for those things to be heard are even more critical as we have fewer sources to hear them from. If we don't have freedom of expression, then we don't have democracy. It's a critical part of having, we need a well-informed electorate. We also need an electorate who can speak their mind and express their views, or else it doesn't matter how informed they are. And you can't be informed unless you can hear all these different voices.
Hello, welcome to Time to Talk. I'm R.G. Hallman, and today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019, and we are glad that you could join us once again on this fall day. Today, we are taking a look at issues.
I'm Joe Zook. I'm the production manager for GRTV, and that means that I'm in charge of all of our client video productions. Community media is unique, and it's not rare, fortunately. There are a lot of communities across the United States that have community media organizations or have cable access or public access stations that do things similar to what GRTV does. But the model is unique in that it really is this open source, community-based media organization. And what that serves, I think, is unique. I think it's right in the name. It's that word, it's access. Access, a community's ability to access these tools and resources and a public platform for communication is really crucial. Access is what it's all about. And that access is also meant to be broad spread, right? Or widespread. I think my vague understanding is due to the hard work of a lot of activists, they managed to establish guidelines for carving out in each municipality a station, at least one station, you know, and depending on the size of a city or a municipality, maybe a few stations, right? If you're going to bring cable television to our community and you're going to have dozens of channels, then you're also going to give us a channel maybe for government, maybe just for education, maybe one that's purely, like we're talking about, public access, right? Just an open channel for the community. There's no programming agenda. It is come in, create the media, the content that you want to create, and communicate that to the public.
My name is Jessie Raymer, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for GRTV. The GRTV space is just one where you can kind of pitch ideas and kind of follow your instinct with that. There's so much bravery and courage in presenting your ideas to others and kind of like trying to put that, you know, from your mind like into something more tangible. And there's definitely a lot of nervousness about producing something that you believe in, or even that, you know, you might think is a little out there. At GRTV, you can truly create something that reflects who you are if you want to. We say, if you don't like what you see, make something yourself, but I think it's so important to realize there are so many places where if you don't like what you see, there's not really an equitable opportunity to counter it or to just say what you mean. Public access exists to facilitate all sorts of conversations and to share any sort of perspective and lived experience. GRTV and just public access in general plays such a small but important role in fostering that sense of expression.
Shoulder that I'm working my way up that mountain. I don't know if I'll make it in time, but it's a holistic approach to this, you know, using information technology to promote social change and improvement. That's really the mission. And the tools come and go, and they're going to change, and the infrastructure is going to change, and the policy is going to change, and the people are going to change. But I think if we can drive that home to everybody involved in the industry or the business or the movement, we'll be better off.
My name is William Mosqueda. I am the Senior Video Service Specialist here at GRTV. A lot of the stuff that I do and broadcast and put out to the community involves other people, and it involves almost their interpretations of how to do the job. And there's an art in that. And there's also an art in combining different approaches for different teammates and making it one cohesive statement. And then when you put that out to the community, it shows people, regular people, people who would never think that they could do something like this, that it is possible, you know, to make something cool, basically. And that these things are within reach to them too. Not just, not just the equipment and the training, but the idea that any regular person could use their own personal creative influences to create something too. I think there's just a sense of intimacy and camaraderie that comes in with the community here, because those ideas are almost sacred to them. They're private, they're personal, and they want to get it out to the world, and so you're sharing that with them. And so you reach a closeness with the members because of that. For some, it's just regular, it's business as usual. I would think for people like us, though, we connect to that and we attach to that. And sometimes we get energy from that. Freedom of expression in this role, giving the opportunity for others to express themselves, pushing that idea that there's other ways to express your ideas and express yourself in all of that. Anybody who comes in here doesn't necessarily think about the broader picture. They just think about what kind of stuff they want to do, but that inadvertently adds to the bigger picture too. People come here because they feel the need to make cool stuff, and you can make cool stuff with video.
Touching my face, 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 touching my face.
Okay, America.
My name is Elena Taylor. I'm GRTV's education coordinator. GRTV is really amazing because it's an educational resource that's not an institution. So it's not beholden to, we have like XYZ goals that we have to meet, or you have to walk away from this with a diploma or prove proficiency necessarily. It's an open space for exploration, which I think is important, and there is a real lack of spaces like that, where you can get resources and guidance and also not be subject to sort of like a punitive structure, having to like prove your worth in a way. You sort of inherently have worth because you have something to say and you want to share it, and we're going to help you do that. My philosophy anytime we're teaching a class is basically start from zero and start from a place where people can sort of center their own dreams and vision about their project or what they want to be able to accomplish. We have people come in and take our classes who have never made any sort of media before, who are just curious and want to find a way in. And we have people who have been making media for decades and just want to, find out what's happening in the Grand Rapids sort of film and video community and get access to our equipment and use it for their upcoming projects. And I want our educational services to be able to appeal and be helpful for anyone who's falling on any end of that spectrum, whether they're super comfortable with it or they've never done it before. To see how much you benefit from having, hearing other people's voices on a particular topic, just like everything benefits from having more perspectives. Maybe you have all of the tools together to make a video, finally. You have enough people that you trust, and you have the equipment that you need, and you have the time set aside, and you have a plan. You also need some place to go to share that final product or share that message. And that's what I think is particularly special about GRTV is, it exists to educate, but it also exists to empower, right? We don't own the content that people are making, and we don't want to. Say what you think, create what you want, and reach people who also value that. That's what makes community possible too. If everything else is homogenized or molded to fit exactly what, all these corporate people have in mind is gonna be good or beneficial for them, then it just sort of flattens the human experience.
On your TV at home, a well-produced live show looks like an effortless broadcast. All you need is an idea, table and chairs, and then lights, camera, action.
If only. My name is Abby Said, and I work at GRTV as the Video Services Specialist. Being a woman in media is very complicated. I feel very lucky to live in an age where there are more women in the industry and they're not as underrepresented, but it's still such a disproportionate amount of women, especially like women of color, trans women, who don't get to see themselves in media. I enjoy editing and I enjoy like directing and setting up lighting and all this technical stuff that is not often associated with women in the industry. I just wish I could see more women here.
And welcome to City Connection. It's Monday, May 5, and I'm your host, Allison Donahue. Brought to you by the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, this live program connects you directly with our city officials, giving you the chance to hear the latest local news and ask questions about the issues that matter most to you.
Women!
I'm Harley Collar, and I'm a video services specialist and the education assistant. GRTV is such a hidden gem within our community. We have all this equipment and all these classes and knowledge to give everybody to help them sort of express themselves. We're about free speech, freedom of expression, and I think that's great and amazing because we don't care about what you're going to put on our channel. We just want you to put content on our channel. And we want to see you express yourself the way you want to. There's not a lot of places nowadays where you're able to just freely be yourself. Everywhere there's terms of service, everywhere's owned by some billionaire that has some underlining motive that doesn't correlate with you. Freedom of expression is such an important thing to people. It's the truest form someone could be of themselves. Being able to stoke that in somebody, being able to nurture that is so important because everybody deserves to feel like themselves, especially in this day and age, especially with whatever is going on in the world, in their lives. Everybody deserves to be at least what they want to be.
From around the block and across your street, we'll all get together with the Fun City Beat. Fun City is fresh.
The programs that I would love to see more of are people playing with the technology. It becomes a true artistic endeavor in those ways, and I am fascinated by people who just play with the technology and make that happen.
I'd like to see more women making media and gender expansive creators. They have a place here and they have support here, and their perspectives are valued.
I would love to see more diverse range of, I think, like fictional type of shows or shorts or media.
I would love to see more queer creators who are sharing their joy. I think queer joy is like such a power, and it's resistance, just like true to like its very essence.
LGBTQIA content. I just love seeing, you know, the different things that community comes up with. It's always been great. It's always been interesting. And, you know, obviously there's a need for that voice to get out, and I just would love to have more of that on the station and see what people come up with. I think it would be great. I think it would be wild. I think it would be great. I think it would add a much needed splash of color to the broadcast.
I want to see just more of everybody on GRTV. I don't see a lot of queer or gender non-conforming people on our channel. I don't see a lot of people of color. I want to see just more of our community on the channel because I know everybody has such great things and great ideas. and are making this great art. I just want to see them pushed out there and have a platform to show how great they are.
I would turn the question back on the community. What does the community want to see on GRTV? What are you not seeing on GRTV that you want to see? Because I got good news for you. It can be there. Come on in, make it, do it yourself. DIY television.